जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा ज्ञानातिमन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुर्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगण ललिता श्री शाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णकृष्णविधिने प्रभुपदति प्रिया श्रीगिरिराजाय स्वामिने सुभक्तराधारास्पिहारिभ्यं भक्तिवेश्चात्मदायिने नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णकृष्णविधिने श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनकारणम् Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila chapter 1. These are the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So very fast, all like in summary, one couple of verses. Lord Chaitanya's pastimes are being described. And I think it even went into the Antya Lila also. So, text 269. Ekadina Shivasadiyata Bhaktagana Mahaprabhura Gunagana Karena Kirtana. One day all the devotees, headed by Shiva's Thakur, were chanting the transcendental qualities of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shuni Bhaktagane kahe sa krodha vachane Krishna nam guna chari kikara kirtane. Not liking the chanting of his transcendental qualities, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastised them as if he were angry. What kind of chanting is this, he asked. Are you leaving aside the chanting of the holy name of the Lord? Audhatya karite haila sabakara mana swatantra haya sabe nasha bhuvana. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastised all the devotees, telling them not to show impudence and spoil the entire world by becoming independent. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu warned all his followers not to become independent or impudent. Unfortunately, after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many Upper Sampradaya, so-called followers, invented many ways not approved by the acharyas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has described them as the aula, baula, kartabhaja, neda, daravesha, shani sahajiya, sakhi bhekti, smarta, jata gosani, ativadi, chodadhari, and goranga nagari. God, so let's hear what they are. The Aula Sampradaya and others invented their own ways of understanding Lord Chaitanya's philosophy without following the footsteps of the Acharyas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself indicates herein that all such attempts would simply spoil the spirit of his cult. So this sampradaya, it's a very straight line. It's like if you want to digest something, right? You put something in the mouth, it has to enter the right track, isn't it? Isn't it? When you open your mouth, there's so many things you can do with your mouth, right? So if you put something in your mouth, it has to enter the exact route so that it goes in the stomach. In your throat, it can go somewhere beside your stomach, isn't it? That's when you choke, right? You have the windpipe next to your stomach line, right? So it's a very precise route. So the sampradaya is like this. So we can't invent the path. The path is said by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And unfortunately, so Prabhupada is saying, when Mahaprabhu disappeared, unfortunately, after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many upper sampradaya invented many ways not approved by the acharyas. So it's very difficult to keep a sampradaya together. Extremely difficult. And Brahmananda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavanji Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. Dasha Dike Koti Loka Hena Kale Jai Krishna Chaitanya Bali Kare Ulahale. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was apparently in an angry mood and chastising his devotees, many thousands of people outside loudly cried in a tumultuous voice, all glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jai Krishna Chaitanya. Jaya Jaya Mahaprabhu Vrajendra Kumar Jagattarite Prabhu Tumara Avatar. All the people began to call very loudly, all glories to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the son of Maharaj Nanda. Now you have appeared in order to deliver the whole world. Bahudura Haite Ainu Hana Bara Artha Darashana Diya Prabhu Karaha Vitartha. We are very unhappy. We have come a long distance to see you. Please be merciful and show us your favor. Shunilokera Dainya Dravila Hridaya Bahirea Siddharashana Dila Dayamaya. When the Lord heard the humble petition made by the people, his heart softened, being very merciful. He immediately came out and gave audience to all of them. Bahutudi Bale Prabhu Bala Hari Hari Uthila Shri Hari Dhwani Chaturdik Hari. Raising his arms, the Lord asked everyone to chant loudly the vibration of the holy name of Lord Hari. There immediately arose a great stir, and the vibration of Hari filled all directions. Seeing the Lord, everyone became joyful. Prabhu dekhi preme loka anandit mano. Prabhu ke Ishvara bali karaye stavana. Seeing the Lord, everyone became joyful out of love. Everyone accepted the Lord as the supreme, and thus they offered their prayers. Stavashuni Prabhu ke kahena Srinivasa. Ghare Gupta hao kene bahire prakash. When the people were offering their prayers unto the Lord, Srivas Thakur sarcastically said to the Lord, at home you wanted to be covered. Why have you exposed yourself outside? Ke shikhailae loke kahe kon baat. इहा sabara mukha dhake diya nijahan. Srinivas Thakur continued, who has taught these people? What are they saying? Now you can cover their mouth with your own hand. Surya che udaya kari chahe lukaite. Bhujite na parite che tamara charite. It is as if the sun of the rising wanted to cover itself. We cannot understand such characteristics in your behavior. Prabhu kahe na Srinivasa chara vidambana. Sabe mele kara mora katika lanchana. The Lord replied, my dear Srinivas, please stop joking. You have all combined together to humiliate me in this way. Itabali loke kari shubha drishtidana. Abhyantare gela lokera puna hailakam. Thus speaking, the Lord entered his room after glancing auspiciously upon the people out of charity. In this way, the desires of the people were completely fulfilled. And Madhuri, you want to read?
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji. Text 283. Raghunath Das Nityananda Pashe Gela, Dadi Maha Utsava Tahani Karila. At this time, Raghunath Das approached Sri Nityanand Prabhu and, according to his order, prepared a feast and distributed prasadam composed of chipped rice and curd. Purport. There is a special preparation in Bengal wherein chipped rice is mixed with curd and sometimes with sandesh and mango. It is very palatable food offered to the deity and then distributed to the public. Raghunath Das Goswami, who was a householder at this time, met Nityanand Prabhu. According to his advice, he executed the festival of Dadhi Chida Prasad. Next 284. Tanra agya lana gela prabhura charane, prabhu tanra samarpila swarupera sthane. Later, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami left home and took shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri. At that time, the Lord received him, placed him under the care of Samud Damodar for spiritual enlightenment. Purport. In this regard, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami writes in his Vilapa Kusama Manjali, Yo mam dushtara geha nirjala maha kupad apara klamat Sadhya Sandra Dayam Buddhi Prakrititah Sweri Kripa Rajubhi Udrityatma Sarojana Nindicharana Prantam Prapadya Swayam Sri Damodar Sakchakara Tamaham Chaitanya Chandram Bhaje. Let me offer respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who by his unreserved mercy kindly saved me from household life, which is exactly like a blind well without water, and placed me in the ocean of transcendental joy under the care of Swamudar Goswami. Text 285. Brahmananda Bratira Guchaila Charambara Mata Lila Kaila Chaya Vatsara. Later, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped Brahmananda Bharati's habit of wearing deerskin. The Lord thus enjoyed his pastimes continuously for 6 years, experiencing varieties of transcendental bliss. Text 286. Eta akhila madhya lilara sutragana sheshadvasha vatsarare suna vivarana. Translation. I have thus given a synopsis of Madhya Lila. Now please hear the pastimes the Lord performed during the last 12 years. Purport. Thus, Srila Kaviraj Goswami, strictly following in the footsteps of Sri Vyasadeva, gives a synopsis of the Leelas of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He has given such a description at the end of each canto. In the Adi Leela, he outlined the pastimes of the Lord in the 5 stages of boyhood, leaving the details of the description of Srila Vrindavan Das to Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Now, in this chapter, the pastimes that took place at the end of the Lord's life are summarized. These are described in the Madhya Leela and Anta Leela. The rest of the pastimes have been described in a synopsis in the second chapter of the Madhya Leela. In this way, the author has gradually described both the Madhya Leela and the Anta Leela. Text 287. Sri Rupa Raghunath Pade Yar Asha Chaitanya Charitamrit Kahe Krishna Das. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, Always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila first chapter, summarizing the pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so text 286. So I have thus given a synopsis of the Madhya Lila. So this is chapter 1. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has given a synopsis of the Madhya Lila. And now please hear the pastimes the Lord performed during the last 12 years. So that was 6 years he spent in the Madhya Lila. Thus, Srila Kaviraj Goswami, strictly following the footsteps of Shri Vyasadeva, gives a synopsis of the Leelas of Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He has given such a description at the end of each canto. In the Adi Leela, he outlined the pastimes of the Lord in the 5 stages of boyhood, leaving the details of the description to Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. So we can understand that after we have completed reading our Chaitanya Charitamrita, then we can read what?
Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Chaitanya Bhagavat. So we will understand and appreciate Chaitanya Bhagavat much, much better after we have studied Chaitanya Charitamrita. All right. So now in this, what is it? Shashi? Now, in this chapter, the pastimes that took place at the end of the Lord's life are summarized. These are described in the Madhya Lila and Antya Lila. The rest of the pastimes have been described in a synopsis in the 2nd chapter of the Madhya Lila. In this way, the author has gradually described both the Madhya Lila and the Antya Lila. So let's continue. So we are following what's happening now. Yeah, Amrita Radhe, you want to say something?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Actually, my question, Mataji, was about the prayer of Raghunath Das Goswami, where Raghunath Das Goswami says that Mahaprabhu saved him from the dark well of household life. So, in that context, I wanted to ask, as householders, does that mean that towards the end of our life, as we grow older, we must kind of abandon attachments to our family and become more and more attached to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Basically, how to get that mood of Raghunath Das Goswami to ensure that we meet the objective that we have set out ourselves for.
Yeah, well, we can understand that Raghunath Das Goswami, actually he didn't want to enter household life. You know how his parents captured him, when he got him married, right? So it didn't work. Their strategy didn't work, right? So that impulse was already in him to be a renunciant. But he had to teach something. He had to teach. Mahaprabhu taught something to him. No markata vairagya, no false renunciation. So Mahaprabhu wanted to teach this. Otherwise, everybody will just abandon their family, whatever, and whatever. And so he says, no, you take care of your father's state. You behave, you do your duties, but actually he was not interested. So he left. But for regular society, the system is given. Brahmachari, tell me, I'm a retired, what's the system?
Brahmacharya, then Grihastha, then Vanaprastha, and then Sannyas.
All right, so you know it. So it's not that the whole life is in Grihastha ashram. 25 years in Grihastha ashram is enough, right? Your children are grown up, so you're in Vanaprastha, right? 50 years is what's considered to be the stage of vanaprastha, you know. So, let's push it a little more, 55, because the children are born so late, right? But you can't push more. Why? Because you'll die soon. You can't push off death, right? And your body will start giving so much trouble that you'll have to think, I have to abandon my children. And if you don't think about it, they will, anyway, you will have to leave them behind. And, right? So if by good luck we survive our 55th year, because many people leave the body by the time they are 54, 56, isn't it? So many people. You just look at the statistics. So then if you don't prepare yourself, from that time itself, then, well, you have to take another cycle, right? It's another cycle. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he was by nature renounced. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was a grihastha, remember, with 13 children, right? And Advaita Acharya, I just heard one lecture, Prabhupada was making the whole list of all the great personalities who were grihasthas, but they were renounced in their grihastha ashram, right? So meaning they were not engaged in sense gratification. They were utilizing their precious life and they were engaging all their family members in devotional service. So that's the idea. When Mahaprabhu came to Advaita Acharya's house, then his wife cooked such a feast. So they received Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I think Srivas Acharya also is Grihastha, right? What we just read, he's a Grihastha. And anyway, we're going to read later all the story. Maybe we read already, I don't remember. So many things happened. So Mahaprabhu's associates, they were both grihasthas and renunciants. And everybody went through their own stage. Yes, what's the problem now?
No, just was. But the conclusion that means is, but ultimately we have to develop deep attachment to Mahaprabhu and abandon attachment to the bodily relations we have created in Grihasthashram. Isn't it, Mataji?
You know the whole philosophy, don't you, right?
No, I'm just thinking. Yeah.
So as I said, the duties in Grihastha ashram cannot be abandoned. All right. So the stages. When I'm in a student life, I can't behave as if I'm a Grihastha, right? Can't keep a boyfriend, a girlfriend as if I am a Grihastha. When I'm a brahmachari life, they're my duties. So I behave this way, right? And then we enter the next stage, which is Grihastha. And when I'm in Grihastha ashram, I can't behave as if I'm a student or, a brahmachari, I have a wife or I have a husband, right? I need to do those duties, but it's not eternal duties. Then we move to the next stage of life, very systematically, deliberately. So Prabhupada says it's like a must. The Vedic injunction is must, eva bhigachet. There's no question of not doing. That's the Vedic civilization. But now, if we are not in Vedic civilization, then we will go on, getting married when we are 70 years old, right? So Vedic civilization prepares us for death, doesn't prepare us for sense gratification. So systematically, we move from one stage of life to the next and we prepare for death. You ask so many of us who are in our 60s, they can tell you how difficult it is. So, and we know that the body is winding up. If I just look under the light, I look at my head, I can see it's all wrinkles. And I say, okay, so nature is telling me that this wrinkle will go on increasing and increasing, meaning that I'm going to leave this body soon, right? So I have to look around in my room, what things is, I have to get rid of. Otherwise, when I die, there'll be so much trouble for others to get rid of my stuff, right? Practical, winding up, knowing that you are going for the next phase of life. So then, depending, as we're saying, depending on what our desire is, what's the goal of our life, we will prepare for the next cycle of life. Is it okay? Or is it but again?
No more birds, Mataji. I want to increase my attachment to Mahaprabhu. Please bless.
Yes. So we go on reading. See, when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu becomes manifest to us. Right? The more we read about him, the more we can absorb, like we get to know him. When we are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, we actually get to know him. He's someone completely unknown to us. So when we read, we get to know him, right? And then when we meet him in the form of his deity, the form of his dham, right? Like I went to Mayapur, and on the way, the devotees with whom I was traveling, they were going to, so they said, we go to Shantipur. And of course, I'm attracted to Shantipur, but not on that particular day when they are doing, the Khichdi Prasadam. Definitely not that day. Anyway, they are so bold, and I start, as usual, admiring the spirit of the Indians, and I think that I can't do what they do. But so she just put me aside, just told me, you just stand here. And I made sure that I stand there, I don't get crushed by, the passers-by, meaning the devotees, all right? And it was very, very interesting, extremely. So I couldn't go inside the temple and take darshan. But I was like on the periphery, and I was just next to an altar of Haridas Thakur, and there was a sign that this is Advaita Acharya initiated Haridas Thakur. So I was just standing there or sitting there. And it was the whole Khichdi story. People were going, taking the darshan and going to the kitchen, and just standing there thinking, oh my God, I can't do all this. And you know what happened? One lady, I'm telling you, one lady, she was just next to me, suddenly she pulled out a dabba. Right? She pulled out a dabba. And I say, oh my God, these people, they are shameless, They come here they are like next to the temple, and they're going to eat or feed their children, because that's what ladies do, right? Anywhere and everywhere, they just feed their children. My God, suddenly she just, nudged me, and she gave me one spoonful of that, whatever was in her dabba, and I realized that I couldn't go. All right. I couldn't go in that line and pick up the khichdi or take darshan. This is hair raising. I couldn't go to take darshan of Advaita Acharya. And you know how Advaita Acharya feeds everybody, right? You know that. So what she did, she mixed up everything, whatever was in the dabba. She gave me one spoonful. I tasted that. I cannot describe the taste of what she gave me. It was simple. It was just rice, some dal, and a God knows what. The simplest, like a pauper's meal, you could say. She gave me that one spoonful, and it was almost like maybe 11 past or something, and I hadn't had nothing. I didn't eat anything. That was my first. It was almost like breaking the fast, So I thought, Advaita Acharya, I came at your door, but because I'm fragile, right? I know I'll get crushed. I know I cannot do all this. You send a spoonful of prasad for me, right? So now all these ideas would come to my mind if I wasn't reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? And as I was standing, I was just appreciating all the devotees. I was thinking how austere they are, how they are walking in that crowd. I was just like appreciating them. You know, this lady just came and gave me one spoonful of rice, dal, and God knows, and there's nothing, what you call Amrita Keli, you know, that's what it was. So these things happen, you know, and it's like Mahaprabhu and Vedacharya manifest themselves. Nobody's left out just because, you know, you have a weak body, you know, you're not capable in so many ways. Nobody's left out, right? Yes, Indira Radha.
City. I was just thinking, Sridhar Kaviraj Goswami, he keeps doing this synopsis.
Yes.
And yeah, why? Because he feels he's old, he might not finish the book,
No, no.
or no,
Oh, we read
or just to make us remember, or have a taste of what's going to come later on.
Yeah, we read earlier that Srila Krishnadas Goswami is following the footstep of Srila Vyasadeva.
Yesterday,
Srila Vyasadeva, he, the system of presenting a topic, you know, just like, I mean, unconsciously, like all of us who give classes, we do it, you know? Just like I started a new chapter on Bhagavatam, you know, Canto 6. I started a new chapter. So on that chapter, there is a summary of the chapter. You know, Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, there is summary of the chapter. So I was reading through it, and naturally, you know, I put in a few things, and I said, this is the prelude. Like what I said, well, this is the prelude to what you're going to study. All right. And then definitely once we have completed, you know, the section, definitely we want to check, you know, like do a recapitulation, we call it, you know, of what we have heard, so that we, you know, if we have been very attentive, then we'll remember, yes, we read this, we read this, we read this.
yeah.
Right? It's a system of memorization, right? It's a system of memorization. He very deliberate. This is how the classics, the shastras are presented, and we also do the same thing. Otherwise, it's the knowledge and information is such a vast ocean, you know, and we get lost in it. We forget. So therefore, we have an introduction, then elaboration, and then conclusion, which is a recap of what we have already studied. This is a system of teaching, so that's why I keep on admiring Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj. Like I think, okay, you know, he's little dumb, you know, he's an old man, he forgets, you know. But no, when I started studying this Chaitanya, he's a genius and extremely sharp and organized, super organized in his presentation. Yeah, I was thinking, usually I used to think of old people as senile, you know. Now I don't think like that anymore.
Mataji, I have a question, Mataji.
We read only, you know, few verses and so many questions. Okay, tell me.
The first question is, the Tulsi Aarti we sing is by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami only. That only. The Tulsi.
Is it? Is
It's
it?
last me, he says na, that Dina Krishna Dase Koe, Ei Jana Mona Hoye. Is it by Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami?
Oh,
No,
no, no,
Mataji.
no, 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 no,
কৃষ্ণ দাসে কয় এই জানো
no,
মোরা
no,
হয়
no, no, no. This is not Krishna Das Kaviraj, right?
I don't know. I'm
Dina Krishna Das, no, meaning, let's just read the translation, right? No, let's get things correct. This is just so basic, huh? What Tulsi Aarti. No, we should know who's who, what is what. Yeah, Dina Krishna Das, meaning this fallen soul, right? Is what it's saying.
দীন
Ah, yeah, this is me who's a 108.
So he's someone else, that means.
No, Dina Krishna Das Koi.
He's in a...
So what is the translation? It is this very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna praise.
Okay, okay.
May I always swim in the love of Sri Radha and Govinda. Dina Krishna Dase Koi, Ye E Yena Mora Hoy. Right? This very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna praise. And this
মাতাজি বাট
one
তুলসী
minute.
কীর্তন is through কৃষ্ণদাস কবিরাজ গোস্বামী
It is thus his.
yes
Where is it written?
No, Mataji.
this is I use this Vaishnav songs and there
Okay, this book. This one.
no I have it my everything is not in books it's always in the Bible.
Okay.
So it's written by this
কৃষ্ণদাস
song.
কবিরাজ গোস্বামী
He wrote this song.
হুম
Okay, so Tulsi Aarti, this Chandra Shekhar Kavi, and here it doesn't say from who has written. Tulsi Aarti by Chandra Shekhar Kavi, and Tulsi Kirtan, this is doesn't say.
This book, it is saying Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in this book.
in my here also
Vaishnav.
the Vaishnav songs mine is in the computer I mean in my
Yes, it says Sri Tulsi Kirtan Kaviraj. That's what it is.
Yeah, but he hasn't said Krishna Das Kaviraj, right?
No, it says Krishnadas Kaviraj. Author is Krishnadas.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So this the translation given here is that this lowly servant of Krishna,
Okay.
right?
Okay. But it is by Krishnadas.
Krishna. Okay.
Mataji, may I put one more request to you, Mataji?
Yeah.
Since we talk so often about aging and women and Vanaprasth and all that, Mataji, can you take a session or a class someday, Mataji, to like how should we proceed? Like what should we give up? How does this?
Well, I mean, in all our classes, Prabhupada already speaking. There's no need for any separate session, Everything is already being said again and again as we are coming through the topics, right? In our study, we are speaking about it. Why, go through depression? Better we, as the rasa is coming, we put in the material aspect, right? We're going to sit and plan, in depression, isn't it? So we are reading this rasa, and in the flow of rasa, suddenly you pop in, other things. I'm not very interested.
Got your point.
Yeah, you just study because we have to remember one thing. Material life is so depressing. It is full of miseries. Dukhalayam ashasvatam, right? So what's the point of sitting and talking about the material life? So it's better we absorb ourselves in Krishna lila, Chaitanya lila, and as Prabhupada is putting in the instructions, we take it along with us. Because material problems cannot be solved, right? It cannot be solved. Every second day, you have a friend who says, I'm having this disease. Isn't it? Every second day. Can you solve it? Right? We can't. So there's no need to talk about it. Rather, it is let us focus on, hearing about Krishna, and let the mind be absorbed in positive things, and let us be attracted towards Krishna. And instructions coming from Bhagavad Gita is already there. Bhagavatam is talking huge, isn't it? And then in between, see, that's how Prabhupada taught us. Prabhupada presented Krishna. And in between, he put in the sociology, the politics, the economics. Did you notice that? The culture. He didn't have, let's have a session on this, this. No, he's pointing us towards Krishna. So for me, I like to follow that pattern. I'm much, much more comfortable in this. Yes, Samrita Radhe. Looks like
So, or maybe I can ask the question later, Mataji, if you want to proceed.
Bolo, because we have chapter 2 to start. Tell me.
Okay, Mataji, actually, what I observe, because I live with devotees, most of my in-laws are initiated devotees, and when some of them passed away, so but even when they went into delirium or something, then many of them were actually chanting the names of their children. So they were calling out to their children. And even now, like my mother-in-law says, she's 70 and she's a splendid devotee, but she expresses that she has deep attachment to her son. I mean, there is this very deep attachment, only son, and they've had a very very strong bond throughout. So that is definitely there. I somehow don't know. I've not seen an example in front of me whom I can say that yes, they have developed deep attachment to Mahaprabhu and have gone ahead. That's why. So, anyways, this was just something that I wanted to.
So that's why I read somewhere say you must leave home. At least the men. All right? Say we must leave home. This vanaprasth. And so Prabhupada said it is painful, but it must be done because attachment cannot be cut. So,
But for women, it's not practical.
yes, stay at home. For women, stay at home and depend on mercy of Krishna, right? The instruction for men is different from the instruction to women, isn't it? Right?
No, Prabhupada says at the end of their life, they depend on the protection of their sons when the husband is not there. So they have to depend on the attachment will be there.
Yes. So that's what I'm
So
saying.
that's why even at the time, where they should be preparing to go, they're still attached.
Yeah. So for the men, the instruction is that now there is this vanaprasth. What is that vanaprasth? It is not tourism. The way it is now, people are, they just save their money and then they spend their money on tourism, right? They go everywhere on holiday here and there. Vanaprasth, it is going to holy places and giving up, like distancing oneself from the family situations, not getting involved in family business, right? And increasing their hearing and chanting, satsanga, doing service. Because once you come to 70, you can't do service, right? Your only service, hopefully, that you will sit down, you have the patience to chant and read, right? So the woman, she goes back home, back to her family, and the husband, hopefully, he will carry on and continue with his spiritual progress, meaning that he will be in temples, he will do seva there. The point is that if his wife is cooperating with him, she's getting 50%. No? This is what we have read. She's getting 50% of the austerities, the devotional service that the husband is doing. She's getting that benefit, right? So this is what Vanaprastha is all about. So because we are not having the courage, Prabhupada writes in Bhagavatam, because where was that? We just read it somewhere. We read it in this, the sixth canto, we are studying sixth canto when Prabhupada is saying that, must even say, because they are not leaving home, therefore they are suffering. Sixth canto, we read chapter 7 the day before, and before that must be chapter 6. So chapter 5 or 6, sixth canto, chapter 5 or 6. Prabhupada is saying that the men, they are not leaving home, and therefore they continue to stay in family life, and therefore they're suffering. So Vedic injunction is that you must leave home. And of course, previously, all those dharamshalas, right, they were meant for these renunciants. So they had no worry about where they will stay, where they will eat. And it's very simple. Everything is very simple. And they have lived a good life also in the sense that they kept their health in good condition. So when in old age also, like Prabhupada was very strong because he knew how to live, right? He didn't abuse of his body. So usually people, they abuse of their body. So that's why when they come in old age, so therefore they suffer like anything. Meaning all the juice of life is gone, so they're like limp, and therefore they suffer until they meet death. So life is to be lived in a very systematic, sattvic way, so that when you come past your 50s into your 60s, the mind is also like strong, and you have the strength to do austerities, voluntarily giving up sense gratification. What is the meaning of austerity? Voluntarily giving up sense gratification. Ability to say no to overeating, to, wasting away our time in gossip, right? Atyahara, prayashascha, prajalpa, etc., right? So it's a whole system. So we can go back and study our Nectar of Instruction, this small book, Nectar of Instruction. So it's a lifetime of practice. All right, it's a lifetime of practice. So for women, as we're saying, go on pilgrimage. And then, for those who are devotees, right? They can't just stay at home. Can't be at home. And if we are at home, then we should be in temples. Why Prabhupada have set temples? For you to do seva, right?
Mataji, I want to say something.
Yeah, Amrita Radhe, just prepare for yourself. Now you have already seen the truth, right?
Yes.
All around you, what it means to be surrounded by, in-laws who are all devotees who worship Bonita their whole life, who chant, who do so many things. At the end of their life, they're only sitting and being attached to family members. So now we know that once our children are grown up, what should we do? We should be in temples and offer our seva in temples. We can't go to the forest, the temples or the forests. All right.
Okay,
Go
ma'am.
and
Mataji,
do
I just wanted to add here to the basic question which Anupama Mataji just put in, that what should be our agenda as we proceed towards, the later part of our life cycle. Here, like material life is such an addiction, and with Indians what happens is that you have reached this part of life, in this part of life, well, you need to do this, otherwise, or what the society is going to say, what this. So you have ladies groups who are sitting doing kirtan, this and that, but it is all for the society. The question is, where is, with Vaishnavs, the connect has to be from within. It is our decision when we are going to, how we are going to curtail, what we are going to curtail. It is entirely between us and Krishna. With from the time I have come back from West and what I'm watching here, everything is age based, society based, nothing for me based and Krishna based. All protocols or norms. Who's going to say this? Why I have to wear this? Why I have to eat this? Are, what is Krishna going to do this? Who is going to think about that? So that is the reason why throughout life everything is fine. Initiation, sari, ye, wo, every norm is ye. But at the hearts of hearts, if you look back, we stand where it is, because this is where it is all us. The addiction, this is not like you have decided that for cigarette, I'm going to leave cigarette today, that's it. This is, material life is such an addiction where you cannot put a stand and say, down, I'm not going to look back. The more we say it like that, the more it comes and attacks us more. The idea is to gradually separate, and this balance, it's so much of contradiction, it's so much of introspection, and it is such a way in day to day life, especially if you are in a life where there is so much of material things also you have to manage. You cannot say, no, I have taken to Krishna consciousness, so many years I put there, I bye bye. Can't do it. We are ladies. How can we say that firmly and say that from tomorrow say no? It is, I mean, it is a, from morning you have to keep doing your agenda. This I will do, this I will not do, this I will do, this I will not do. And gradually, to an extent, it helps, Mataji. Because it's a big fight for ladies. Definitely, it's a very big challenge. And as life is proceeding ahead, and you have so much of backlog of material life that you have to finish, maybe my karma, maybe my fault, I agree, everything is mine, but now I have come here, I have the realization, but I cannot take decisions like that. There are so many things that pulls me back, and I have to decide where I have to cut that balance, not because of society, not because of who is what, because I know that this is the path and this is how I have to reach Krishna.
Yeah, and then so I didn't continue with that verse. Atyahara prayashascha prajalpa, then what? Niyamagraha.
Niyama.
Right. Niyamagraha. So if we take to devotional life as if it's just, religious formula, Prabhupada writes about it. Path of Perfection, a wonderful book. All of you please read, because it's about austerity. Prabhupada described very specifically, explicitly what austerity means. Mind and sense control, path of perfection. So he speaks about spiritual life as spiritual entertainment and religious formulas. You are finished if you take up path of perfection. Just go and read it. Prabhupada is saying, if you take to devotional life as if it is spiritual entertainment, as you describe now, or niyamagraha, that is just religious formulas, and you are not interested in devotional life for Krishna, then you can't progress, then you're frustrated. So at the end of the day, it's like the world doesn't exist for a yogi, right? A yogi is somebody who abandons the world, right? So we are bhakti yogis, and because, like being in women body, this system of bhakti yoga is most applicable. All right? We can't practice other types of yoga. So bhakti yoga is the most applicable for grihastas. Women are in household life, right? So Srila Prabhupada is saying that this lady who's cooking, all right, who's cooking and offering the food to Krishna, right, can be more advanced than this yogi who's sitting down and trying to control the mind, right? The, the, the intention is the same. One is sitting silent, trying to focus the mind on Krishna. And the householder, while cooking, is trying to focus the attention on cooking for the pleasure of Krishna. The endeavor is the same, right? Endeavor is same. Activity is different. One is silent and one is active. But you can reach, right? So whatever we may be doing, this is a personal decision. Nobody can decide that for you. You know, the world around you, you know, they have to fade away. You apparently, the way Raghunath Das Goswami lived at home, he was living at home. He was like a Raja, right? He was living at home, but his mind was somewhere else. And when the time came, he was free from it. You know, somebody, I mean, say, nobody's barred from, don't say Indian society. This is not Indian society. We're speaking of the Vedic civilization. Vedic civilization is the Indian society. And Prabhupada is teaching us back to us. And let's apply again the system of Srila Rupa Goswami summarized in Upadesha Amrita. See, there is a time when we are forced to socialize. All right? There's a time when we're forced to socialize. Once we cross our 50s, we owe nothing to society in terms of socialization. We owe nothing. There is duty at different times. Now your priority is, I'm approaching death. All right? And my duty is towards Krishna. So see, let's get our understanding clear. The path is very clear. Will not be mixed up. Some ladies, I would say, please don't forget your family. And some people will say, you know, now it's time to move.
Mataji, you had said in one class that after the age of 50, we should work towards our next subtle body. And the
Yeah.
way we're working, we start thinking, and the habits we develop actually defines our subtle body.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
when we die, we go back to Godhead or not. So we have to, that is the.
Yeah. Yeah. So see how tough it is. See how tough it is, right?
Very tough.
See, I would say that people who are genuine, who are sincere, who are simple, who control the mind and senses, who work for others. This is a major point. You can never be happy sitting at home with your friend circle and family circle. You have to do seva. You must preach. If you don't preach, somehow or other, distribute books, call people at home, go door to door. If you don't do this, you'll be frustrated. You will always be caught in that jail. Reach out. Like Anupama, right? You're reaching out to how many people I don't know. Almost every day you have a class, right? Small book she's teaching. And I'm shouting to everybody, do it. Shikala, you're taking kids class, right? You're having the parents with you, isn't it? Rashmi, you're having your classes. I don't know, Amrita Radhe, what you are doing. What you are doing, Amrita Radhe?
Mataji, once a month we conduct a program and we are trying to build the congregation here. And you had given me one Bhagavad Gita class. So out of whoever joined, only one lady is continuing. So we do once a week discussion on Bhagavad Gita. So these two mainly.
Okay, and she has 2 babies with her, right? Teaching whole life, right? Distributing books, talking, bringing so many people, so much service, huge service she has in her whole life. Very huge service. Anupama, what you are doing? Mishra, tell me. You always sponsor books. And what else you are doing? Tell me. You have those kids, those Gurukul, you're still visiting them?
Yes,
Right?
Mataji. I visit them and I teach also online, but not regularly. But I do.
Yeah, you cannot be caught by your family members. You're finished. You're jailed. So if you don't move out, don't move out. This is you, the Jeev. Remember, you're not female or whatever. This is you, the Jeev. You have to take that decision, what you will do with your life. And why am I speaking all this? Because Prabhupada gave us the solution. Right? Remember that Kali Yuga is not the time for sannyasis. For Kali Yuga, the only one ashram, it is Grihastha ashram. Right? So what does it mean? Everybody is doomed? Because everybody knows if you stay in Grihastha ashram, there's no future. Right? So Prabhupada opened up, he gave us the clues. Right? So preach. But what does the preach mean? Reach out to others. Tell them about Krishna. And you can never be alone. Right? Okay, so our time is up. Thank you very much. We will start chapter 2. I was thinking, okay, just few verses, I will jump into chapter 2. But I did read that one. Raghunath Das Goswami, and I said, okay, that's very interesting, and we got hooked on that. That text only, which is 284. Later, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami left home and took shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri. At that time, the Lord received him and placed him under the care of Swarup Damodar for spiritual enlightenment. So, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami writes in his villa Kushumanjali, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who by his unreserved mercy kindly saved me from household life, which is exactly like a blind well without water, and placed me in the ocean of transcendental joy under the care of Swarup Damodar Goswami. All right. So we can escape from household life even while we are sitting at home by preaching. So externally, your body is at home, but your mind and soul is with the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? Right? So when the time of death comes, it's so easy to move out. Because your mind is focused on his mission and his seva. Shashi, you're always collecting donations, sending something or the other, right? Your mind also is in that direction. Everybody is doing in their own way. Right? Every festival, every book marathon, right? You're sending something from your family members, your friends, right? So your mind somehow or other is going in that direction. So increase it. Increase it. Right? The more we increase, the more we absorb, and the more that, the world just take a back seat. That's what actually happens. The world takes a back seat because your mind is focused. This is what we call bhakti yoga. It's a trick. All right, it's a trick. It's a method. How to move from matter to spirit. It's a trick. It's a method. It's a transcendental method. So Prabhupada had taught this method to us, and we should take full advantage of it. Okay, no, I don't want to hear again this complaint. Oh, we are women. Oh, we are stuck at home. Oh, we are this. No. Otherwise, Prabhupada would have open school only for the women, for the men, right? Half the population of ISKCON are women. Is it true? I say it's all hopeless and help, I bother about them. The way other organizations do, they don't even bother about women. Just take, the brahmacharis, the sannyasis, they won't allow women. But the system of bhakti yoga is extremely powerful. Chapter 6. No. Bhagavad Gita, maybe chapter 18, I don't know, where Prabhupada speaks about this. Householders, even one in household life can take the system of bhakti yoga. And explain why also. Thank you very much. I really wish I could distribute the Mahaprasad from Mayapur to all of you. What can I do? I have to send it by post. Those of you who are nearby, maybe come and drop in. You can get something. Hare Krishna.
Hare each and on our behalf. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Rashmi, hear you at all today. Usually you have 1 million questions. All right, we'll see you next week. And